Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we have an interesting deck that I've made. Hopefully, you guys like it. I'd love to hear from your thoughts on it. But we have a Jund group hug deck. So this is based around Winter Misanthropic Guide, and he is a very interesting commander. I actually really like him, and I think that this is going to be one of the decks that I'll build from Duskmourn. Probably one of the only decks that I end up building from Duskmourn. I don't know. I'm kind of just on the fence about a lot of kind of different commanders there. There's a lot of very interesting things, but nothing that really kind of speaks to me as much as Winter. Winter just looks really awesome. So he has Ward 2 at the beginning of her upkeep. Each player draws 2 cards. As long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, each opponent's maximum hand size is equal to 7 minus the number of those card types. So say, for example, we have 4, which is roughly the Delirium. That means their maximum hand size would be 3. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I really like this. I think it's a very interesting kind of group hug with punishing people. So I kind of a lot of different draw stuff, as you can imagine, but some love kind of stuff in there as well to kind of get us there slowly to win the game with burning everyone down, as well as kind of handing out presents and everything. All right, so starting off, we've got the artifacts here. We've got some like mill-based artifacts. So the Hedge Shredder, I just think is amazing, especially when any of our lands enter our graveyard from our library, we get to bring them back. Attack, we get to mill. We've got Matzinil to be able to filter through our hand, draw a card, then discard something, and just general Manic Rocks. The Thought Vessel is important, so that way we have no maximum hand size. I want to be able to kind of keep most of our cards that we're drawing, but also, therefore, we'll have the huge kind of card advantage here. We've got a couple battles in here, the Battle of Eldraine to make people discard stuff, and then the Battle of Zendikar to be able to tutor up 2 basics and then chuck them out, as well as the fact that it becomes a mana dork, which is nice. But we mostly want the battles to be ending up in the graveyard, right? So that way we're kind of bringing online our Delirium and making that Delirium stronger. The good thing about Winter is that he just needs 4 or more in the graveyard. So if we've got like an artifact, a battle, a creature, or an enchantment there, instants and sorceries, we can get that pretty high, but we don't need to rely on our battles being in there. As for the creatures, we've got a mix, right? So we've got creatures that damage that punish card draw. So like Razorkin, Needlehead there. We've got some that get buffed up based off our stuff in our graveyard. Some that get that make opponents draw cards and then lose life. The one I like is the Heartwood Storyteller here. Whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. So you can see that's kind of working into this kind of group hug. Everyone kind of gets to draw cards and stuff. We're not wanting to make people discard, like we're not directly attacking them and making them, hey, you're discarding your stuff or anything. I want to just hand out card draw and be like, here you go, here's your present. Have fun discarding that and have fun making the choice of what you want to get rid of later on. We've got Root Weaver Druid here as one of our kind of big group huggy things. Make people go search up their basics, and then we get to take one of them and they get 2. Here you go, have some fun. We've got Alexios. So Alexios is just going to get passed around the table and slowly get stronger and is not able to attack us. Zurzos, so that way, punishing that card draw again. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, we get to create a red devil. And because we've got a lot of ways to be able to make people draw cards, boom, we're getting a lot of these red devils out that we can do stuff. We can make people draw cards with them. We can make people discard random cards. Very fun. Korom's going to allow us to be able to steal things from their graveyard. We've got like Khan the Betrayer, very similar to Alexios, to get handed around the table. But Khan is, whenever he dies, he's going to get handed to a different opponent, and then that person who had him draws 2 cards. Fate Unraveler, punishing that draw, and then Sir Conrad giving some more kind of burn stuff there. Because people will be discarding stuff, not stuff that we're choosing, like they get to have to discard because they've got a maximum hand size. We've got Tergrid here to be able to steal that stuff away as well. We can technically play her for her flip side to make an opponent lose life unless they sack something or discard, but personally, I'm more of a fan of the other side where anything they discard, we get to take. And then Thantis is a big one here for like that group huggy kind of aspect. So making all people have to attack, and then we get buffed up based off that. But kind of like here, everyone gets to attack, have fun kind of thing. I kind of like that kind of idea. So as for our enchantments here, we got stuff based off people discarding stuff, because people will be discarding at the end of their turn and drawing stuff. Rite of the Raging Storm to give everyone some lightning rages that they have to go and attack with, and they can't attack us. Price of Knowledge. This is a big kind of group huggy one, because everyone's going to be drawing so many cards, right? Then at the end of at the beginning of their upkeep, it's going to deal damage to them equal to the number of cards in their hand. So this is going to give them a maximum hand size, no maximum hand size. So if we play this after we've got Winter already out on the board, technically this is the timestamp will be later, therefore they will have no maximum hand size, is how I take it to work. Even if that's not how it works, it's still going to, they don't have to discard immediately. So at the start of their turn, they're still going to have all those extra cards that we've given them, and then take damage from that, which is really fun. Ripples is just the best mill card, in my opinion. Mill 3, pay 1, get something back. Really, really great. And then it says Send to Avernus is just huge group hug. Everyone, we're going faster. You're all going to take damage, and you're all going to make treasures. And I'm going to make some treasures and take damage too, because I want to go fast. Rites of Flourishing, give everyone an extra card, but they can play an extra land, right? Like, I'm not punishing you. I'm giving you presents. Here, have some extra cards. Boom. Our instants are mostly kind of based around bringing stuff back from our graveyard, because we are going to be milling stuff, and you know, we want to be able to kind of mill stuff to get it in there, and then we could potentially bring some of it back later on. The lands, very, very cheap land based, not much to kind of talk about here. We've got like Gira Reach Sanatorium, make everyone draw and then discard something. Fabled Passage has dropped down so much. Definitely worth grabbing in here. Riveteer's Overlook, I love. And a lot of kind of basics and stuff. I do have the Vel'Gavoth's Lair in here just because it is an enchantment land. So it's going to fulfill 2 of those different, like the different delirium requirements, and then Twisting Landscape to search something up too. We've got a couple Planeswalkers here, Obnixilis to punish people drawing, and then Liliana to mill things and then bring stuff back. And our sorceries are where we've got a lot more kind of group hug stuff. So Scheming Symmetry, we get to tutor something else, and we get to choose someone else to tutor something. Shared Trauma. This is really fun. Starting with you, each player pays any amount of mana. Each player puts the top X cards from their library into their graveyard. So we're going to mill ourselves and then mill everyone, but everyone else can join in with us. Would you like to help mill? Would you like to help mill? Boom. Transverse to the Elverworld is based off of Delirium 2, allowing us to be able to tutor up a creature if we've got Delirium. Tempt with Immortality, we get to bring something back, and then everyone else gets to choose if they want to, and then if they do, boom, we get to. And then our big kind of finishes are here are Peer into the Abyss, make someone draw up a whole bunch of stuff and then take a whole bunch of damage. And then Rise of the Dark Realms, which is going to bring up every single creature all these people have chucked into their graveyard are coming back under our control. And Blasphemous Act is our big board wipe there, and same with Toxic Deluge. But then I also added in Culling Ritual. We're not making a whole lot of like treasures or anything like that. We do have a bunch of non-land permanents that are below mana value too, but this is going to be able to get us a lot of stuff. If we've got, you know, people who are making a whole bunch of treasures, we can punish those and get lots of mana from it. So that's kind of my take on like a big kind of group hug Jund deck. I know that group hug Jund decks are more around like the Beamtown Bullies or the one that brings back Mana Burn, but I thought like a card draw one was interesting. Maybe I'm calling it something wrong. Maybe it's not group hug, but to me, it's kind of, I've added enough stuff in here that's kind of card draw, but also that kind of group hug aspect from card draw and getting us some big kind of nice damage, and then kind of bringing all that stuff back that people are discarding from having all those fun extra cards that they've got access to. So I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.